When an employee is absent, not performing, late, there has been this traditional assumption that a show cause letter needs to be issued to this employee. Our law actually requires that we show fairness and meet the second guideline of burden of proof. Translated, that means the law actually says show that you've been fair in managing the employee and meet the burden of proof, which requires documentation. So how do we translate that into a situation when an employee has been absent for 2 days? In many companies today, because of uncertainty about where is human resources role, where is the employee's role, where is the direct manager's role, a lot of confusion happens, and often no documentation is in play. The steps, the practical action steps for any manager when an employee is absent is, number one, talk to the employee. When the employee returns to work, arrange a meeting with that person, clarify why the employee was absent. Right? Now, the second part of the law, burden of proof, necessitates that you also document this. You can do this via a variety of options. Number one, you have a counseling form which you may administer. Right? You could issue a formal letter of explanation, but there is no requirement for the issuance of a show cause letter. Could you, for instance, send an email to your employee? Absolutely. Remember, our industrial courts are a court of equity, which means they don't abide by highly legalistic principles. There is no absolute necessity to label your letter, for instance, as a show cause letter. Could you send an explanation email to your employee? Sure. You could have the label starting by saying regarding your absence, and you can say, dear so-and-so, you were absent last Thursday and Friday without informing the company of your absence. Please explain. Now, a simple email like that is documented will serve a long way in managing the employee issues. Now, we hope the employee improves and doesn't repeat the absenteeism, right? But if he has, or he does repeat it, you've also got this documentation in play to show that you never condone this absence. Often today, as I mentioned, it is this failure to document the employee's absence in the first instance that later causes problems for the employee. So action item, document it.